Okay. So, let's get started. Good afternoon and salutations. My name is Calypso, aka Mint Carousel, and welcome to the stream. This is the beginning of our new schedule, new rotation schedule, and the number one game that I've begun playing here on stream is Fatal 12, the game I'm most interested in playing and finishing. So, I don't know. It's very possible that I just finish this game before going on to the next one, but we'll see. This is a visual novel, and I'm gonna have to do a lot of reading. I have peppermint tea with me to help soothe my throat because of this. Yeah. So there is gonna be another change, something to bear in mind. So if you're not aware, I put up VODs of the serialized game, of like the serialized games, story-based games, on my YouTube channel, which I don't know if I have linked on my Twitch page. I will make sure it's linked right after the stream. I'm pretty sure it is, though. Yeah, oh, what was I saying? I had a coughing fit. Make sure the thing is... I'll make sure that the YouTube channel is linked on the Twitch page after the stream. What could happen, though, is that I could get tired of, talking so much and want to play the next game on the rotation after an hour of Fatal 12 is done. And it'll be in hour chunks, like hour-long programs or whatever. And I could switch to the next game after an hour of this. I don't think so, though. But anyway, that does mean that I can no longer directly export, and I'd have to, cut down, download the actual video and, actually cut it in half in, a video editing software, yeah. In some video editing software, and which means I'll have to do, an ending, an outro for YouTube, and then we'll just have to do it. I could also just stop and restart the stream, but, I only want to do that if it's absolutely necessary, and it's not necessary. I can just edit the video in a video editing software, yeah, and it's also, it's just kind of annoying on the audience end, so I don't want to do it. So, that being said, let's get into it. Also, I've kind of realized that, I have, a 2-hour, Fatal 12 VOD on YouTube, and that's, kind of long. An hour is pretty good. So, even if we do watch... not watch. Well, y'all are watching. But even if we do play Fatal 12 for both hours, I'm still gonna, cut it up and, have it be a... Really wish I could just, cut it in half instead of just in 15 segments. It's kind of weird. But, anyway, let's get going. That's way too quiet. Let's... sound. Actually, we don't want it to be too loud because we want to hear the, voice acting, mostly. Alright, so we continue. Let's go. Later that day, Odette... Okay, we're still the Italian, right? Okay. Later that day, Odette gets me to start tailing him. Needless to say, this is for the sake of getting information regarding his regret. Divine Selection takes place at 12 p.m. on Sunday, JST, so we'll be in a good spot if we manage to get all 3 pieces of info on him before then. I'm going to have to take frequent breaks to drink that tea. Okay. As for why I'm tailing them on my own, well, Odette's down with a hangover. Not in the way you'd imagine, though. She ain't suffering in bed. She's pissed off and screaming at everyone and everything. Can't believe she's making me second guess her usefulness just one day later. Oh, if you're new to my playthrough of Fatal 12, first of all, just go watch the VOD. You can catch this stream as a VOD later, probably later today, actually. But yeah, so I read the inner dialogue and like, not inner dialogue, the inner narration of each character, but I let the voice lines be voice lines, and we're just gonna have to read it, kind of like reading subtitles on an anime. So, just to save my voice some, just like something. Okay. Not long after I start tailing him, I have to rush back to the hotel to get Odette. Rose's company was located in one of those fancy high-class buildings in the middle of Beijing City. I lost sight of him thanks to it being so crowded, but I managed to learn his plans. A few minutes after entering the building, he made his way back out. Acting as someone there on official business, I asked the front desk about his schedule, to which they replied he was leaving on a business trip. Ooh. They were hesitant about revealing the destination at first, but I managed to get them to reveal that he'd be staying in Taiwan for 3 days while visiting their local branch. Turns out, we can hop on the same flight as him if we haul ass over to the airport. I knock on her door, fully expecting her to flip out at me. Imagine my surprise when she struts out of the room all ready to go, luggage and all. As an aside, our phones and credit cards are perfectly intact, despite our washing up ashore, so I didn't have any issue buying whatever gear we needed. Oh my. Okay, I was muted. Alright. I don't know if I was muted when I said Odette, what are you wearing, but that's, yeah, okay. Huh?
私がその情報を掴んでないと思ったか？昨日の時点ですでに分かってたんだよ。
じゃあどうして俺に尾行させたんだよ。
協力関係だ。頼られてばっかりじゃ私の損だろ。この程度の情報もつかめないんだったら協力関係を破棄してやろうと試してたのさ。
Bruh, she destroyed you. Oh god, I am... Okay. Yeah, yeah. She drops that bombshell on me like it's a casual greeting. The fact that she doesn't mention what she'd do with me if I failed their little test proves how twisted she is. Why do I gotta be tested in the first place?
食えない女だ。
何か言ったか?
Shut the fuck up, boy.
でもねえよ。
That's right. We leave the hotel after I rush to get my stuff together. Alright. Having made it on time to catch the same flight as Ro, we make our way to our hotel in Taiwan before landing. It's the same hotel he's staying in, so we choose a room far enough away from his, and then discuss our next move over some wine and cheese. Huh. Why did the voice line not go? Interesting.
しかしビビったぜ。あんた飛行機の中でローを探すんだから。
生意気にビジネスクラスに乗ってやがったからロビーで見つからなかったんだ。ま、エコノミーじゃ出っ張った腹が邪魔だろうがな。 偶然座席が余っててアップグレードできたんで、到着ロビーから尾行してホテルを突き止められた。結果オーライだな。
ビジネスクラスでいい思いをしたのはあんただけな。あんたは選定の場所で顔が割れてるんだぜ。ローが騒いだりしたらどうするつもりだったんだ。
そんなこと警戒すらしてなかったみたいだ。まさか私ら選定の参加者が中国まで追ってきてるとは思ってないみたいだ。いや、それ以前に平然と仕事をして暮らしているあたり、ありゃもしかしたら選定そのものを信じていない可能性もあるな。
まともな大人なら信じないだろ、あんなもん。俺もあんたと一緒に漂着したから信じたってもんだ。
She grins nihilistically before continuing. Okay, good, I wasn't muted. It's a little... Gotta keep that in mind every time.
自分の死を冷静に認識できてれば、どうして生きているって疑問が浮かぶんだけどな。そうなりゃ、選定とやらの存在を信じざるを得ない。
そんな風にぶっ飛んでんのはあんただけだ。なことより滞在期間気にならないか。
I grab some squares of cheese as I pose that question to her. Once I confirm that she's reacted to it, I continue.
会社で聞いた時のあいつの出張期間は2泊だが、フロントで聞いたら、いや、問い詰めたらロはここに1泊しかしないらしい。
お前、ローに報告がいかないようにうまくやったんだろうな。
鳥もよだ。クレーマーのふりをしてローの部屋がうるさい、部屋を変えてくれって言ってやった。そしたらフロントのやつは明日までだから我慢してくれって答えた。
まあ旧大点か。確かにそいつは妙だな。あいつは明日に台湾支社へ行って、明後日には工場の視察に行く予定になっているはずだ。どちらもこのホテルからのアクセスは悪くないはずだが、まあいい。ならお前は明日も張り込みを頼む。私は別の視点から調べ物をしてみる。
はあ？なんだよそれ。
今日は飯だ。台湾料理はまだ食ってないからな。私は海の幸にはうるさいが、どれ地中海料理との違いを堪能してやろうぜ。
ま、いずれにせよ早まってロを問い詰めたりしたら逆効果だしな。
We split the rest of the wine between us and finish off the cheese.
地中海はフランスのもんじゃなくイタリアのもんだ。海の幸の比較なら俺の方が適任だわな。
Okay, buddy. The major thing... give me a sec. The major thing I take away from yesterday's activities is that, surprisingly, Taiwanese food ain't half bad. Yeah, they could work on their presentation a bit, but those steamed shrimp buns were delicious. Could see myself getting hooked on those rice noodles too. Don't let me forget the spicy stuff either. Adding some, dobanjiang and some tianmianjiang really created a perfect and rich balance between sweet and sour. Oops, that's enough Odette impressions for one day. Even though my stomach regrets eating so much last night, here I am in the hotel's parking lot early in the morning, waiting for Ro. Once I see him leave in a taxi, I make sure to follow. And now I've been sitting around outside his company's building for a good part of the day. Boring as hell, but I'm used to waiting by this point. The streets of Taiwan really are an interesting sight, though. You can get a good hour's worth of entertainment from people watching. Bet I still got another 7 hours left. After what feels like an eternity, I finally spot him leaving the building.
来たな。
I figure he'll make his way back by taxi too, but it looks like he's hoofing it instead. It's entirely possible that the people at the front desk told me he'd only be staying one night just to get rid of me. But the fact that he's not going straight back by taxi proves nothing. He could be going out for a meal with someone first. That much is normal for a corporate bigwig like him. As it turns out, he ends up at an Italian restaurant in town. A ristorante, to be accurate. God, this guy. Oh, of course you're gonna explain it to me. Oh, actually, I love how characters in this game just explain actually, like, kind of mundane things, like, in their heads. Like, it's... I like that a lot. Italian restaurants are split into ristorantes, trattorias, and osterias. Ristorantes are the fanciest of the three.
Oh, いい趣味してるじゃねえか。
Okay, so I live in the US, and literally every Italian restaurant here, like, calls itself, well, I guess not everyone, but, like, I've never heard saw an Italian restaurant call itself a trattoria or a, whatever the other one was, osteria? They've all called themselves ristorantes, so I think they're just, think ristorante is Italian for restaurant, and they just slap ristorante on it. It might be just what it's called. I don't know. It would be funny if it's actually like a shitty Italian restaurant and he's like upset about it. That would be funny. Okay. Oh, yeah, that's me. The glass paneling makes the restaurant easy to keep an eye on, so I waltz into a cafe directly across the street. It's got glass paneling as well, so there's no danger of losing track of him. I order an espresso and dump plenty of sugar into it. It's gonna be a struggle to make this last as long as a ristorante meal, but I gotta deal with it. As far as I can tell, it seems like a real fancy joint. Looks like he's made a reservation, judging by how he gets taken to a seat by one of the staff right away. Soon after, someone takes a seat across from him. A young woman. She's wearing one of those glitzy red dresses that dirty old geezers drool over. I'm pretty sure he's got a family, but it doesn't take much for me to catch on what this is about. She ain't my type, but there's no denying that she's a looker. Doesn't seem like a random hostess either.
なるほど。ま、役員なんてのはこんなもんかね。
Haven't discovered their relationship. I spend the rest of my time watching them enjoy their meal. Guess he's picked out a wine beforehand. Gotta hand it to him. Red wine like that will send any woman over the moon, assuming they've got good taste. It's just a shame that he's using his bread to wipe up the leftover pasta sauce. You're gonna make that woman feel ashamed to be with you, buddy. Yeah, I certainly have never done that. Actually, that actually sounds kind of gross. I actually haven't done that. The restaurant seems like it's more on the expensive end compared to the others around here, too. Chances are he started going to these types of places more often once he hit a certain age. He has the appropriate manners, but sticking to them and also dropping old habits can prove to be tricky. Not like anyone's gonna call him out for it, considering his age and position. 3 hours pass before they finish eating and enjoying their after-dinner espresso. I get myself ready to leave while Ro pays for the whole thing by card. Fortunately, I know exactly what the plan is after this. Probably because I do the same thing. Once they leave and get into a taxi, I jump into another one and follow them. They end up making their way back to the woman's apartment. So after I confirm that they've gone inside, I return to the hotel. I don't know much about Taiwanese dogs, but some breed I'd never seen before came out to greet them both when they arrived at her place.
遅かったじゃねえか。
まあな。どうだ、そっちは。
She waves her hand in dismissal. Guess she wasn't able to learn anything interesting, so now she's pissed off. Meanwhile, I'm feeling pretty great, because I've gotten my hands on some crucial info.
じゃあ、情報を手に入れたのは俺だけってことかな。
もったいぶらずにとっとと言いやがれば赤チン。
Yep, she's pissed alright. I heave a quick sigh before explaining what I saw.
ロの野郎、真面目な顔して女と合流してやがった。
女？家族じゃないな。妻も3人の子供もまだ北京に住んでいるはずだ。
ああ、若い女だったぜ。ありゃ愛人だな。ご丁寧にマンションに入るときキスをしてやがった。
悪趣味なやつだな。
I think... Wait, am I... I'm not muted, okay. I think you're both ones to talk.
だろ、あの太っちょ、真面目そうな顔した愛人つけてやがったんだ。犬にも懐かれてるみたいだから相当通い詰めてるぜ。
犬にもね。おっ、
Holy
悪趣味なのはお前だ
shit!
ぜ。中年男の恋事情を覗きにしてんだからさ。
Isn't that kind of his job? Wasn't he supposed to do that?
あんた、イラついてるからってそりゃねえぜ。ともかくだ。こいつの未練は愛人で決まりだな。
Is it though? Maybe his regret is that he spent too much time in like... I don't fucking know. Our last two attempts were regarding his family and work, but neither caused the card to appear. It might have been because we weren't entirely certain, but a part of me felt that we just weren't on the right track. I'm confident about this one though, which is why I direct my comment to the book, expecting it to turn out a card for me.
おい、どうなんだ？愛人で間違いないはずだろ。
All that follows is a brief period of absolute silence. Sans Undertale! I apologize. Sans the sound of the air conditioning humming away in the background.
残念。読みが甘かったみたいだな。あれだけ自信満々で反応しないんだから、情報自体が間違ってるってことだろうな。
Yeah, there's definitely more to this. Yeah. I have no comeback. All I can do is begrudgingly jam a cigarette into my mouth.
スーなら喫煙所へ行ってくれ。私はタバコの煙が嫌いなんだ。
Mood.
やり直しかよ。おい、また明日あいつを追うんだな。
She flashes me her standard grin in response.
お前にはまた尾行をしてもらおうかな。私は今度こそ尻尾を掴んでやるさ。
好きにしてくれよ。今頃ロは愛人とよろしくだよ。
I found myself eyeing Odette after saying that, but nah, I wouldn't go at it with someone like her even if she asked. I was about to say, bro, what about Odette? Like, what's stopping you from doing it with Odette? Like, that, like, you hate each other? Come on. As if that's a real reason not to. I head out to have a smoke after that, a little annoyed at myself for even considering that option. How could you not? Come on. We leave Taiwan in the morning and check back in the same hotel as before when we get back to Beijing. I part ways with Odette, who says she has something she wants to look into, and then I start tailing Ro again. Getting anything worthwhile regarding his regrets as he goes about his daily business proves to be a lot more difficult than expected, so I make my way back to the hotel after I confirm that he's returned home.
遅かったじゃないか。
あんたどこへ行ってたの？
まあどこでもいいじゃないの。さて、あとは日曜を迎えるだけだし、宴会しに行こう。初日に行った店がいいな。あそこの北京ダックはうまかった。
はあ？ロの未練が分かったってのか？
Damn. Sister's better than you in every possible way. I think you should have sex with her about it.
ああ、だがお前にはまだ教えない。指名が2人になったら優先権とやらの取り合いになるからな。
Wait, for some reason I can't parse the sentence. That goddess did mention something to that effect now that I think about it. Like, if 2 or more people elect the same person, they gotta reveal one piece of their own info to everyone else to gain election priority. Like, before Divine Selection, you could just go rock, paper, scissors, and whoever gets it gets to do the election, or it gets to choose whether to elect or not. I think you could work something out here, actually. Sure, you'll be able to get info from the person you eliminate, but you're putting way too much at risk in exchange. Odette's removing the chances of that happening to us by not telling me. In other words, she doesn't trust me. Can't say I trust her either, though.
ところでよ。いい加減怪しまれるぜ。おっさん。
Hello? Is there someone new?
ああ。
Her sudden insult takes me back, but she isn't actually addressing me. She's looking over to the door I'd entered from. I approach the door, praying that the worst case scenario in my head won't take place, and then open it.
気づかれていたみたいだね。
Huh. Ro Chun-ho, the very man we've been following around, standing right there. That means he's the one who's been tailing me all along. God, you suck! At your job!
二人で協力していたとは正直意外だったよ。だがどうにも嫌な感じがしてね。最初は裏金を調べに来たマスコミかとも思ったが、君のようなチンピラがそうとは思えなかった。
チンピラだと
？He continues talking, blatantly ignoring me.
オデット・マランソン。私をこそこそ調べていた首謀者は君だね。
ほう、首謀者ときたか。やっぱり私の方が偉そうに見えるってことだね。
Hell yeah.
そんなことはどうでもいい。
Huh. He's right. The important bit is that he called her by name, meaning he's in possession of her name card. He made that clear in an attempt to bait a response from her. Chances are she realizes that as well, which is why she responded the way she did.
夢の世界。なかなか信じられない話ではあったが、夢の中で出会った人物が同じ飛行機の中にいたら信じないわけにはいかんよ。君のように目立つ女性は間違えるはずもないしね。
Wait, do we have a... Yeah, we have his card now. Okay. Yeah, she really does stand out. Not only is she pretty damn tall, but she's also built like a tank. You could say she's got looks, but those don't stand out near as much.
確かに目立つぜ。
おい、何ニヤニヤしてんだ。
君こそ笑っている場合ではないのでは。 取引だ。私にも家族がいる。こんなところで死ぬわけにはいかないからね。
お前さんは私の死因か未練のどちらかを知っているわけだ。
She takes a deep breath before shaking her head.
両方じゃないな。だったら最初の選定で私を殺してる。
話が早くて助かるよ。
なぜこっちはあんたの情報を全て持ってるんだぞ。立ち聞きしてたんだから分かってるはずだ。
ああ、だから私の取引はこうだ。ミス・オデット、君は私を指名しないと約束してくれ。さもなければこのチンピラに君の情報を教える。
His expression is deathly serious. I have to stop myself from cracking a smile. The room is as silent as can be, but not for the reason he's hoping. At long last, Odette shatters the illusion when she bursts out in laughter. She follows that by punching him square in the face, which sends him flying over to the opposite side of the hall. This dude must weigh over 200 pounds, a true testament to her ridiculous strength.
何をする?
She saunters over to him, takes a seat, and laughs right in his face. He's holding his cheeks after that punch, but it looks to me like his nose took more damage, considering it's gushing blood.
笑わせんな。こんなの全然取引になってねえんだよ。
なんだと？今すぐ情報をばらしてもいいんだぞ。そうすれば貴様らは仲間割れに。
やってみろよ。だが、そうしたら私はお前の家族を全員こいつに殺させる。
は？
She punches the floor as her way of telling me to keep my mouth shut.
お前の目論みが成功して仲間割れしたとして、万が一に私が負けて、こいつが生き残ったらどうだ？お前の家族が死んだことはなかったことにはならないぞ。家族だけじゃなく、お前の未練も死んじまう。
Oh, it's a kid. Is it a kid? Another kid?
貴様、なんて下道な。
黙れよ、クソじじい。
She stands up and kicks him straight in the gut. Gotta say, I think she's overdoing it a bit.
小物が生きがってんじゃねえ。お前がおとなしく死んどけば何もかもうまくいくんだよ。取引がしたいってんなら、てめえも私の情報を集めてからだ。私が指名してもちゃんと防御できるようにな。
貴様。
ビジネスマンなら0を1にする交渉じゃなく、1を100にする取引をすべきだろ。
She grabs him by the collar while she spits out her insults. All he can do in response is close his eyes and turn his head away.
遺言状でも書いてな。意味はなくなっちまうけどよ。
When she finishes, she motions for me to go back into the room with her. There's plenty I want to call her out on, but the last thing I want to do is go against her will right now. It's like I've said before. She's the type of person who tries to ultimately solve everything through violence. Once we're back in the room, she acts like nothing just happened.
さあ、飯食いに行くぞ。
わかったよ。
This woman really is nuts. The Mafia might do some shady stuff now and then, but we still have some attachment to society's norms. considering we dip our hands in regular business to a certain extent. Meanwhile, people like her who live by the rules of the sea lack any such attachments. That realization helps to explain why even a mafioso like myself can be surprised by someone's insanity. Ro has outright vanished by the time we leave the hotel to go get some food. I actually feel pretty bad when I think about how he's probably spending what little time he has left with his family. That being said, the fact that I'm here enjoying some food and booze despite it all proves how messed up I am too. Blech, butchered that. Once we've satisfied our stomachs, Odette hits me with a threatening gaze.
お前、こっそりあいつと接触しようとは思うなよ。
Oh, you know he's not smart enough to, or talented enough to, prevent that from you finding out, by the way, I mean.
死ぬよりも恐ろしい目ってのを、私は知ってるからよ。
She says she says this like it's a perfectly acceptable topic to bring up during a meal.
チェ、分かってるよ。残り2人になるまではこの同盟は続けてやる。
Just promise you won't fall in love with me before the end.
なんでお前が上から目線なんだよ。あ？
分かった分かった。両党だ。殴るなよ。殴ったらロのところへ行くからな。
それはいい。面白い冗談だ。
She lets out a... Oh god, what is that word? Raucous? Fuck. She lets out a raucous laugh, but I can tell it's phony. Odette's the kind of person who walks a thin line at all times while making sure that everyone else thinks otherwise. Not that I'm one to talk when I do the same myself. She says she wants to avoid us both electing Ro, but another reason she's refusing to tell me is his regret is because she knows there's a chance he has info on her. Okay. The fact that I've only realized such a simple truth now proves that I'm still in no position to get the advantage over her. Jumping ship to Ro's side would do more worse than good for me, too. So, basically, I'm best off remaining her ally.
しかし、あんぐらいでかいと殴りがいがあるな。もう一発殴っておけばよかった。
Bruh. This is why you're not... This is...
お前、あの時楽しんでただろ。
Fucking yikes.
わかる？命のやり取りをしてるって感じがして最高に気持ちいいんだよ。
You'd have to be a real dumbass to earn the wrath of someone this insane. Having finished their business, all that's left to do is wait for the second round to start. Oh, hey! Thank God. Okay. Cool, we have like 17 minutes or about. Oh, thank God. Well, for the first hour. Phew. There's been no progress at all these past few days in regards to Divine Selection. Fuck. Okay. Wait, I have to choose who to think about? God, okay. Okay. Oh, they're gonna hit me with that? And it's been a while since I've talked to them, so I really have to, like... Oh... I really have to think about this. Who do I want to think about right now? God, I feel... No, I think I just feel bad for Naomi. I think... Nothing's really changed between me and Miharu ever since this whole thing started. Okay, thought the voice line didn't go for some reason, but it was just... There's actually been a significant change. I'm referring to the fact that we're both just acting as though nothing's changed. As for Naomi, I've been seeing her more and more recently. It's mainly due to my teaching her how to brew coffee for the culture festival. She spilled boiling water and folded the filter wrong a good number of times, but fortunately none of her cups have been broken. Yet. That's likely due to the fact that she's aware of how much my grand treasures them, so she takes extra care despite her inherent clumsiness. I say this out loud for no reason. Actually, you did it so that I didn't have to read it. Thank you. From what I remember, I was taken to the dream world at midnight last time. Might as well go to sleep now if that'll happen again. I glance over to the clock, which says it's 11 p.m., and then shut my eyes. Oh god, okay. Oh. Huh. I find myself in the court of fate once again. It's as impressive as ever. And as I figured, it doesn't matter whether or not I'm asleep when the time comes. To my left is Miharu, to my right is that Middle Eastern man. I take brief glances at both their faces, opting to not engage with either of them. Part of me is afraid of that man. He doesn't seem fazed with the fact that he eliminated someone last time. I can't imagine I'd remain that stoic knowing I'd just stolen someone's future from them. None of the other participants speak to each other. Instead, we allow an oppressive silence to rule the court. The one to break that silence is none other than the girl that we've all grown familiar with. She stands in the middle of the court, her posture as elegant as ever. I'm fairly certain she wasn't here when I arrived, and yet she's here now. I assume this is what it'd feel like if you saw someone teleport in front of you. She actually might be teleporting, though, assuming that the whole thing about being a goddess is true. Just hearing her speak helps me convince me that she's not lying about being a goddess. You can tell she's looking down on us based on her ruthlessness, which somehow seems fitting for a goddess. I've definitely reevaluated my thoughts on her over the past week. An upwards panning shot? She softly announces the beginning of the end. In response to her command, the hands on the clock begin to move. The long minute hand points at me. I didn't notice during the first round thanks to my circumstances, but this is basically the method of confirming whether or not a participant wants to elect someone. Miharu opts not to elect anyone as well. The man appointed as numeral 3 is the same. He's tall and wears a suit. I assume he's European based on his facial features. I don't know which one, though. They all look the same. That reminds me, how is it determined what we'll be wearing while here? I sincerely doubt he'd be sleeping in a suit, so did he get brought here while awake? Oh, well, you see, the artists only wanted to... It's so the artists didn't have to draw them in different outfits. Not like what you're wearing at the time reflects what you'll be wearing here, either. The fact that I'm wearing my school uniform despite going to bed in my pajamas proves that. As for Miharu, she's also in her uniform. This outfit doesn't stand out too much, so I doubt anyone could identify it without taking a picture first. But that doesn't change the fact that info on me is out in the open. Oh, yep, thinking about that. Oh, I wonder if it's because, like, you two are students, and so that is reflected in the presentation in the Court of Fate, and he's wearing a business suit. He's, like, in sort of that world. I think they're all wearing what reflects who they are, because this whole thing is about like, presenting information to others while also gathering information on everyone else, so that that visibility is, like, kind of key, I think? Maybe. I don't know. This thought is not... thought, obviously, I had, like, 2 seconds ago is not well formulated, or, yeah, actually, not well formulated is a good way of describing it. Okay, did I read this? Well, I've sat on this screen long enough. I can't do anything about it, so long as I don't understand how to influence my appearance, though. Putting that aside, I take a look at all the other participants again. Out of everyone, numeral that is 7 is the only one who's visibly distressed. Maybe Paruka was just acting cynical before. There's no doubt he'll be elected tonight. I'm sure that's what everyone else is thinking too. There's likely nothing in common between us all other than that juncture of causality thing Paruka mentioned before. I like Paruka. Our ages, gender, and nationality are all over the place. Numerals 4 and 10 are younger than me, even. Both are girls and foreigners, from what I can tell. That's... okay, dude. We don't have them. Okay. Why did kids as young as them have to die? Well, so, she's actually the reason why you died. Funny story. The fact that I can only come to know the reason to eliminating them is nauseating. Before I know it, the clock hands make their way to numeral 11. It's a tall woman built almost like a sports athlete. Oh, okay, that's a huge hint. So I have gold medal. That's probably hers. If they're really, that's a huge sign. Could be a red herring, but you know, we'll see. Not only are her legs nice and long, but her chest is sizable as well. You can tell there's no way in the world she's Japanese based on her looks. I'm normally jealous of tall people because of my height, but even I know it's impossible for me to ever look like that. A clock hand stops in front of her. I feel like our eyes meet all of a sudden. Probably because I've been staring at her for so long. Wow. I have hurt my eyes immediately. I don't know why, but my instincts are telling me to fear her. She's not normal. Not just because of her build. There's something fundamentally different between her and regular people like me. It's a different kind of fear than the one I feel in relation to numeral 12, too. Part of me gets worried that I'm about to be elected, but as I expect, she goes straight for numeral 7. I will not get used to Roman numerals. I just won't. It'll not happen. The small hour hand spins to point toward him. The platforms both of them are standing on begin to emit an odd light. After that, the minute hand shifts to numeral 12, who simply shakes his head. Looks like he's not electing anyone tonight.
11番様が7番様を指名ですわね。
Paruka smiles once the longer hand finishes making its way around. That's not the face one should normally make when they know someone is about to be eliminated. Both of their platforms start to move and gradually rise above us. The same thing happened last time too.
戻ってくるのはどちらか一人。
I take my eyes off the rising platform after muttering that. It doesn't take long for them to finish. Also, as I expect, it's the woman who returns. She reports the results to Parka, her expression one of obvious displeasure.
5番の使命な。ち、最後まで小物かよ。またじじいだしよ。
Okay, who's number 5? 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we don't have a face. Numeral 5 looks like the oldest of us all. He's most likely Japanese. He doesn't react when she mentions that she's learned his name, although he might just be feigning indifference. In fact, the woman seems to be more transparent with her emotions than him. She's the complete opposite of numeral 12 when he elected and eliminated someone. While he displayed no emotion at all, she's openly annoyed, but deep down she seems to be enjoying this. She reminds me of a kid who gets angry when they lose a game, but secretly enjoyed the experience.
それでは今宵の脱落者は1名。これをもって選定を終了といたしましょう。
I want some more time to observe things here, but Parka brings an end to tonight's round without a moment's hesitation. Unlike the first round, I've come away from this one having learned a lot more. Unfortunately, that only serves to give me an even worse feeling about the days to come. Oh boy. Oh. Oh. We're back with, this guy. Well, it is 1:56. So this concludes our program, not the stream, or the stream is not ending. So if you're watching live, just hang tight. If you're watching on YouTube, this is the end of the video. And I don't know whether part 2 of the stream is going to be uploaded on the same day as this part or the day after. But I think I am going to continue with Fatal 12 for the next hour. So wait, I don't know if I like a half outro for YouTube is like weird when I'm gonna keep playing and streaming after this, but just there's YouTube things, do them or not. I mean, it's mostly just for like posterity and like to be able to like catch up if you're just coming into the stream and like, oh, it's Fatal 12, but she's on the streamer, she's on like the second week, or finished the second week. What happened earlier, and it's on the YouTube. Just go to YouTube and go watch it. Go watch it. So anyway, let me do another post, and yeah, I'm going to go blog the link post again on Tumblr. I'll be right back. Did that catch? Okay. Okay. If I were to have had, if I were going to split, not split, change games, play a different game, then I would also take time to edit stream info and stuff like that. I'd probably make a new post instead of just logging it. And also it gives me like a time where nothing's happening on screen and nothing's happening on the audio, and so it gives me a really big window to cut between the beginning and the end. As of right now, we're in part 2. This is of the stream, so we're going to continue after I get a drink of this tea. Okay. Yeah. Judging by the audio spikes that I can see on OBS, it definitely can tell when I mute and when I don't, but it's probably less annoying than hearing me cough all the time. It's very annoying for me, which is what matters. Okay, let's get these back on. Alright, by the time Odette eliminates Ro, morning has come. I can't even remember whether I was awake or asleep when we got taken into the dream world. It's partially due to the fact that I didn't take the time difference between here and Japan into account, but from now on I should make sure to remain more alert on Sundays. Once we've gotten ready to leave, we call on room service to bring us up some breakfast.
でよ、結局ロの未練は何だったんだ？
なんだ、まだ予想がついてなかったのか。お前が自分で言ってたんだぞ。
は？俺がか？
I think back to my previous suggestions, albeit with that much confidence.
やっぱり愛人関係なのか？
Yeah?
まあいいか。それじゃ全く気づいてないみたいだしよ。
She gulps down the rest of her Americano before continuing. Gotta say, she really likes espresso-based drinks, doesn't she?
犬だよ。
Oh!
犬ってあの犬だよな。
What are you thinking? Oh, wait, do I do an intro for the second program for, like, the YouTube, this part on the YouTube? Damn it, I have to think about that. It's... shit, okay. I mean, it just... I mean, they're probably going to come up at the same... I don't know. I don't know how to... Kind of weird. I think next time I'll try to do another good afternoon salutations blah 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 thing, but we'll just we're still figuring things out. Okay, let's continue.
ああ、だがあの愛人が飼ってた犬ってわけじゃねえ。あいつは犬と一生を共にしたかったんだ。子犬から育てて成犬になれば友人になり最後を見とる。ありふれた経験だが得難い経験でもある。
犬ごときが未練になるもんかね。
Yeah, I'll bet.
んなもん人それぞれだろうに。お前の国でもペットを飼うのは普通だろ。
俺の国ではな。
I'm not fond of having to talk about myself, so I try to shift topics.
ところで、なんでそれが分かったんだ？
お前が愛人のところに犬がいるって言っていたのを聞いてピンときたんだ。
Just from that?
もしかしてってな。んで調べてたらローの妻が犬アレルギーだったって判明した。
Huh.
そりゃ飼えないわけだ。
Yeah. Having cat allergies is a deal breaker for me. I am going to live my entire life surrounded by cats. I am petting one right now. Hi, hello. Oh, and she's clawing me. And she's trying to bite me, but she can't. Okay. She spills every last bean on his personal life after that. His parents, who lived in the countryside, had a dog back when he lived with them during his youth. The dog was killed in a traffic accident, though. His family refused to get another pet after that, since the sudden shock that came from losing was too much for them. And that led to the birth of Rose's great regret. Yeah. No, I feel that.
気持ちだけならわからないでもないな。未練になるほどってのは俺は理解できないけどさ。
She scoffs in response. Believe it or not, but this brute actually has a soft spot for animals. Ah. That's really good. Hell, her ultimate regret might be dog-related as well. Not like you can keep a pet when you're always out at sea. Or out to sea. No. Either way, the discussion moves away from Rose shortly after that. Over the course of his life, he kept too busy and was too financially unstable to own a pet. And once he got married and settled down, he discovered that his wife had allergies. Guess we'll never know whether or not he convinced his lover to get a dog because of that, or if he went with her because she already owned one. Hell, she could have just been some lady he hired to look after his secret pet dog. And then they fell passionately in love. But that's the only one with those answers now. Oh well. Probably shouldn't concern myself with someone who's been eliminated. The goddess said that anyone eliminated during Divine Selection would have the reversal of their deaths undone. Not only that, but any events linked to that period of time would also be undone. She flings her smartphone across the table to me in response. I don't even need to browse the web based on her reaction, so I give a casual glance toward the screen before handing it back.
2週間前、中国の有名企業の役員が会議中に脳梗塞で突然死。ぴったりだな。ところでよ、あの運命の大広間とやらの上はどうなってるんだ？指名の時、上に行ってただろ？
I wonder if this question is gonna bring back the sour face she made when she was coming back down. Starting to find myself curious about how the election process works. Okay.
She doesn't
seem too sure at first, but she decides to take the time to give me a primer. And a pretty long primer at that, even for someone who talks as much as she does. The circular platforms both Odette and Roro were standing on began to rotate, as they were raised above the Court of Fate. Upon reaching a certain height... Oh, excuse me. They stopped descending. Something. Okay. The layout of the upper area was similar to the lower stratum, but parts of it felt different somehow. The goddess, displaying her usual wry smile, had made her own ascent before either participant could blink. After ascending, all the cards in Odette's possession sprung out from her book at once. A strange light surrounded them, masking both their number and contents from everyone's view except Odette's.
なんだ、言えばいいんだな、こいつの情報を。
貴様！
あなた様のお好きなようにカードを宣言してくださいまし。
Huh, that doesn't tell us anything. Odette's eyes scanned across the cards in front of her. She currently had 9 cards, including her own. Among them were 3 specific cards she needed to read aloud. She brushes her fingers against them before speaking.
Ro Chanho.
やめろ！やめてくれ！
Oh God.
てめえの死因は脳梗塞。
私には家族がいるんだ。私が死んだら家族はどうなる？貴様はその責任を背負えるのか？まだ間に合う。使命をやめなさい。金はある。私は株も土地も持っている。
You should have come to them with that in the hotel, honestly. That's not what I thought you were going to do. You were like, don't eliminate me. I will provide any funds you need to do any of the investigations you need, and just like don't kill me yet. You should have come to them with this earlier. It was way too late now.
みっともねえな。
Maybe she wouldn't have gone for it.
いくら欲しい？いくらでも出す。私の信用情報ならいくらでも引き出せる。
I think
一
she
生遊んで暮らせるぞ。どうする？
I think she likes her work though.
こいつの未練は
終わりだ。
夢。金だろうが同情だろうが命の対価にならねえよ。何より勝負事で私が妥協するわけないんだよ。
Yep, hers is definitely the gold medal. We have hers. Okay. Once Odette finished, 3 of our cards floated away from her. After reaching the middle of the Court of Fate, they came together and formed a triangle shape. Hmm.
じゃあな、おっさん。
Who knows whether or not he could hear her last words to him. He simply hung his head in despair, realizing that his fate had been sealed. One by one, Odette's cards began to emit a white light. Oh. Huh.
散りゆくものに福音。
Okay, so I can do that with a right click. Interesting. Oh.
散りゆくものに福音あれ。
Said light got brighter and brighter until it eventually blanketed the entire area. And then it happened. In the brief moment that Odette's vision was blinded by the light enveloping the area, her consciousness was overtaken by an unfamiliar scene. Her senses were linked to the scene as well. Oh! Oh! Wait! No! Wait, does she have to... Oh my god! She witnessed a number of old, chubby men, all are wearing expensive suits and sitting in an oddly bright room. Their faces were all twisted into expressions of boredom. The artificial lighting in the room was almost blinding when it reflected off the documents they had brought along. It was apparent that they were holding some sort of meeting. She could tell it was one of great importance, judging by the tone of their voices. She has to experience his death? Oh my god! Oh! That's why she was upset. Oh! Oh! I need a fucking minute. Oh! Oh my god. However, she was unable to hear the details of the conversation. Some manner of interference prevented her from doing so. Okay, interesting. And then the unexpected struck. All of a sudden, her vision went blurry. Next, her face slammed down on the table with a thud. She was unable to muster the strength to move her body whatsoever. She collapsed down onto the floor. The unclear voices were now clearly being directed toward her. Eventually, her consciousness faded as she lost all bodily sensation. Oh my god, is that how a stroke feels like? Oh, that doesn't feel good. Oh, that... My whole body is, like, in attack mode. Oh, that is... Ugh. A stream of memories followed. All manner of people were talking to her, but it was impossible to make out a single word they were saying. Regardless, the sense of disconnect she felt at that moment made it clear what was going on. These were Rose's memories. Memories of the moment he died, engraved upon his very soul. As he drew his last breath, Rose's thoughts were of his dog that died when he was young. Oh. By the time the flashback ended, Rose had disappeared from Odette's sight. The cards she used to elect him did the same, and the room returned to its usual gloomy atmosphere. The one thing she noticed was that the beam of light that shone from above had grown thicker, although she wasn't sure whether or not it was just her imagination.
なるほどな。脱落させた方にも死を体感させるとは、お前の根性は腐ってるみたいだ。
God. Parka opted to respond with nothing but her wry smile. In her hand were 3 cards. I doubt realized that these were the cards that were in Rose's possession.
5使命11使命11死因、あなたはどのカードを選びますか？
So 5, 11. So 5 or 11. Who is that? 5. This is 11. Wait. Oh, that's 11. So of course she's gonna pick number 5. Oh wait, we know who she picked. I forgot. The platform on which Odette stood wait, hold on. The platform on which Odette stood began to move soon after Parka asked her question.
下へ戻るまでに考えておいてくださいね。
選択肢ねえじゃねえかそれ。
What did this say they had? Name and well, camp and regret, or was it cause of death? Ah, damn! I really want to. I forgot what it said because I'm pretty sure Rinka has the regret, has Odette's regret, but I don't remember what it said. Well, she had imagined this outcome. The fact that she was still on the money left her visibly annoyed. Following that, both her and Parker returned to the lower level of the Court of Fate.
Naruhodo.
Naruhodo. I tried to imagine everything she just explained to me. Basically, you're forced to experience the same death as those you eliminate.
嫌な気分だぜ。パルカってのはあんな顔してひどいやつだ。
Oh, give me a sec. Fucking tinnitus. Ugh. Okay. We're good. Hey. Okay. Now we're good. Okay.
そうか、なかなかにスリルがあったけどよ。
Huh. Interesting. In response, I make sure to sigh loudly enough for her to hear it. She keeps babbling on without a care in the world, though.
んなことより、日本入りするぜ。
結局行かなきゃいけないから早い方がいいってことだな。俺もそう思っていた。それにあんたが取得したカードの主はどうやら日本人だったな。相当なジジイだったと思うが。
そういうことだ。よし、食ったら出るぞ。
It finally feels like second round's over now that we've decided our next move. Washing down the last flaky bits of my croissant with some milk, I stand up and get ready to leave. Huh. This morning brings memories of another nightmare with it. The second round of Divine Selection has taken place. By this point, I've already accepted that I'm a participant. The fact that I'm alive right now makes it hard to comprehend the reality of my own death, but it's no longer about whether or not I believe it. Rather, the events that have taken place so far are starting to get to me because they feel so detached from my own personal life. Divine Selection's grinding along, and 2 people have been eliminated without any influence from me whatsoever. I keep telling myself that I had died over 2 weeks ago, but I can't forget the faces that I saw in the Court of Fate. That alone is enough to make my heart ache. I don't want to die. Not having access to my own cards is frustrating too. There's one major reason behind my reluctance regarding all this. It's the fact that I don't know what my own regret is. I still haven't sorted things out with Miharu, but it's entirely possible that we could both be eliminated while preoccupied with that. As afraid as I am of both the woman from last night and the guy from the first round, not to mention everyone else, I'm not about to go down without a fight. I have 3 cards at the moment. If I'm going to do any digging, it needs to start with the people that these belong to. I look up that Federico Carminati person after I finished collecting my thoughts. As expected, no useful information. All I learned is that it's a common name in Italy. The other 2 cards provide me with the cause of death for numeral 4, and a regret for numeral 9. Oh, did it tell me? Did I not have to figure that out? This is 11. Okay, so it's not. So her regret. So I have IX regret. This is XI, so we do not have her regret. It's not her regret. It was a regret. Or shit. Okay, okay. Cause of death for numeral 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't have a face. Okay. Oh, maybe she won the gold medal, or Odette won the gold medal, and the other one didn't? I don't know. Alright, okay. Yeah. After a big sigh, I set about my morning routine. There's always the possibility that the other participants don't know anything about me. Doesn't mean I can waste my time, though. My own name card was among those distributed at the beginning, which means it's only a matter of time until someone puts 2 and 2 together. One thing that has me curious is numeral 4's cause of death. Much like me, the card says they died in a fire. From what I recall, numeral 4 is a boy from abroad. Of course, there's no guarantee that he got caught up in the very same situation as me. Much like there's no guarantee that it simply died from the fire itself. In fact, I still don't recall how one broke out on the train in the first place. There are plenty of possibilities, from a simple accident to an intentional terrorist attack, but there's no way for me to find out when the act has been undone. In other words, all I've got going for me is my memory. Man. No point in forcing myself to try and remember. Especially when there's a near zero chance of a hint magically appearing to help me out. I make my way downstairs, have some bread, and then head to school. I missed you. Hi, Mel. I wish you were romanceable. I wish you were important enough to be on the title screen. Mao and Miharu stroll over to my seat when the bell chimes for lunch. I had planned on going to the cafeteria on my own, but Mao catches me just in time. We probably would have eaten separately if she hadn't, considering my mind is a little preoccupied. So much for trying to go about life as usual. Obviously, I won't ask if that was thanks to being in the dream world.
ミハルンが寝坊なんて珍しいね。さて、食堂へレッツゴー。
The university on campus has its own cafeteria, which is open for our use as well. Middle schoolers aren't allowed to use it, but once you hit high school, it's fair game. Since it's a little awkward hanging around all the university students, most of us tend to buy our food and then go eat it somewhere else. That goes double for us, considering how much we stand out. That being the case, we make our way to the rooftop after getting our food.
貸し切りだ。
The rooftop is usually crowded with students on days like this, but unfortunately that doesn't seem to be the case today.
そういえばさ、2人は何を買ったの？
僕はハムサンドだよ。シンプルで外れがないし、何より安いからね。
それで足りる？
マオこそ焼きそばパンとアンパンだろ。量で言えばそんなに変わらないよ。
Yakisoba bread. Ah, anpan.
いやいや、うちはコーヒー牛乳を買ってるからカロリーは圧勝だね。
She jams a straw into the carton with a triumphant grin. It's a 16-ounce carton too. I'd probably struggle to finish it before lunchtime ends.
カロリーで勝負してどうすんの？
I really like how it's the opposite of how one would expect people to write high school girls in terms of calorie counting being competition. They're competing to see how many calories they can get. I like that. That's good.
取る？
Whoa!
ダメだろそれ。
Oh, come on.
リータンはもう少し太った方がいいと思うけどね。
Mao has her priorities straight. I mean...
胸見ながら考えてくれ。
Okay, very not straight.
おお、怖っ。
Oh my god. Much as I am aware of my depressing reality, I'd rather not have her remind me of it. Especially with Miharu sitting right beside me.
それでリンカは何を買ったのかな？
She's just gonna ignore that. Do the best she can.
あ、カツサンド。はい、リータンの優勝。やっぱりカロリー摂取する気あるんだね。競ってないから。
Mao asks for a bite as I unwrap the packaging. Just to do so before I get a bite in myself. I float the sandwich close to her mouth, which prompts her to chomp down on it.
あ、カツまでいかなかった。
Oh well.
一口小さいもんね、マオ。ってミハルどうしたの？
She's staring at Mao with a blank expression.
いやー、ミハルも欲しいんじゃない？
Wow.
じゃあハムサンドと交換する？マオがかじってない方あげるから。
お構いなく。僕は揚げ物は苦手だからいらないよ。
すみません。
Mao presents her yakisoba bread as an offering to Miharu after apologizing. Unsurprisingly, Miharu turns her down, which elicits a laugh from her. Honestly, what a silly conversation. At the same time, it seems to remind me that moments like this are a regular part of my daily life.
リンカ？
どうしたの？いや、なんでもない。ちょっとぼーっとしちゃってさ。
That said, I go back to eating my lunch. We keep chatting away like usual on the rooftop until just before lunchtime ends. After the final period of the day, I hear someone call out to me as I'm tidying up my desk.
先輩？
Hi, Naomi. Hi, hi.
あ、ナオミ。
Turns out to be Naomi. Culture Festival isn't far off at this point, so it's about time she starts teaching her classmates how to brew coffee themselves. That's why we've made a deal to have her come over to Lion House as much as possible this week. She normally waits for me at the gate, so it's kind of surprising to see her come straight to my classroom. Now that I think about it, will everything I'm teaching Naomi right now be undone if I get eliminated? Based on what Park has said, it's all but guaranteed. If that's true, then why am I even bothering?
先輩
Oh.
どうしました？
ごめん、なんでもない。
Oh my god. I can't keep acting like this. Mao caught me spacing out earlier today too.
お待たせ。もう行けるよ。
リンカ、
Miharu stops me as I'm standing up.
あれ、どうしたの？
羊さんと帰りかい？
今日もうちでコーヒー入れる練習するからさ。
What do I... Okay. Oh. Bump into something. Okay, okay. This feels like it's going to... the tension this will bring that she is blissfully unaware of would be, like, palpable, but not in a way that she actually realizes. Well, maybe she would, actually. And this one is... I mean, if I say this is she probably does have to go to work, but and this just goes straight to it. But this one might elicit like a weird conversation, and I kind of want to see it. But also, I like Miharu. I do want to give her the option to spend time with Rinka. That's even though this man.
もし暇なら、美晴も来る？
Not like there'll be many customers in the first place, and I'm all for us hanging out together. At first she looks happy about the offer, but it quickly shifts to disappointment.
せっかくのお誘いなんだけれど、
Yeah.
今日もバイトがあるんだ。いや、代わりを見つければ間に合うかな。
Oh. She whips her phone out to check mid-sentence.
あ、いや、バイトなら仕方ないよ。うちに来ても話すだけだし、また今度だね。
Okay, okay.
うん。また今度。必ずだ。
Her tone is a bit poignant. Not that I blame her. It's entirely possible one of us could be eliminated during the next round. I leave the classroom after saying goodbye to Miharu. I'm sure Mao would have tagged along, but it seems like she's busy with someone else today as well. While on our way to Lion House, Naomi blurts out something I don't expect.
三島先輩に申し訳ないことしちゃったかな。
Oh.
美晴に？
Oblivious.
はい。三島先輩もリンカ
Oh,
先輩と
yeah,
話したかったん
oblivious.
じゃないかなと思ったので。
私も美晴と話したかったな。でもバイトって言ってたから、ナオミのせいじゃないよ。
いや、そうじゃなくて。
そういえばさ、今日は教室まで来てくれたよね。
ちょっとでも早く合流できればって思ったんですけど、明日からはやめときます。
どうして？
Naomi struggles to find the words that answer my question. Wow. Oh my god. Naomi. After a number of false starts, she simply tells me, never mind. It's worth noting that she actually seems a bit aggravated. A rarity for her. Oh, yes. That angry face is adorable. Oh my god. Oh my god. Is that going to be saved in like a gallery? It looks different from a normal like presentation. Ugh! Unbeknownst to both Rinka and Naomi, there was a girl secretly watching them from the school gate. Interesting. It was Mishima Miharu, known at Amateur High for her looks and admission via scholarship. To many, Excuse me. To many, she is the embodiment of perfection. However, this perception has made her somewhat difficult to approach for them. Especially now, as tears stream down her cheeks for all to see. A scenario likely to become the locus of many rumors if it involves anyone other than Miharu. In fact, it is such an unusual sight that no one will dare mention it at all.
Miharu まだいたんだ。
Amongst the crowd of students pretending they haven't seen anything, Oguma Mao is the only one to address her. Her attitude remains consistent, even in the presence of her friend crying without uttering a word. Miharu's focus never shifts, despite Mao's presence. As such, Mao follows her line of sight, only to give a sage nod overseeing the two figures it leads to.
なるほどね。
ねえ、マオ。
なーに？
もし死ぬとしたら、僕はリンカに愛されて死にたい。
What? What does that mean? Her voice quivers as she says this to Mao. Her words lack even the slightest hint of exaggeration. Mao is well aware that she has simply let her true feelings slip out. Miharu's words fail to faze her. She responds as she always does.
んじゃ、まだ死ねないよね。
She opts not to wait for Miharu's reply and walks off. Huh. Not because she doesn't care. She understands that Miharu sees no merit sitting down to hash things out, or go and sing karaoke to shout those inner feelings out loud. Instead, she leaves Miharu to digest the simple words. Miharu doesn't think of Mao as being cold for doing so either. In fact, she feels absolutely nothing at all about her. The only thing in her heart is Rinka, who gradually sinks into the horizon. This poor girl. There's just
お邪魔しまーす。
tragedy happens.
私と来てるんだから誰もいないよ。
Naomi drops her things off at the corner before donning the apron she's brought from home. I fill in their regulars about the culture festival and tell them not to worry about Naomi's presence. In exchange for my teaching her, she's offered to help out with dishwashing and other simple tasks for around an hour or so. I've told her not to bother, but she insists on it. It's gotten to the point where it'd feel rude to keep turning her down, so we've decided on a time for her to help me out. Here's how things typically go when Naomi's around. We open at 4 p.m. on weekdays, and the hour or so after that, it's either completely dead or we have very few customers inside. That's when we either brew some coffee together, or she reads up on different types of coffee beans. The latter is more out of personal interest than anything else, and so won't come in handy for the culture festival. Around 6 p.m., the regulars who are just finishing up work start dropping by, so that's when I have her help out for an hour. Afterwards, she kills some time either studying or reading books. Sometimes we chat when I've got the time too. That's how things went last week anyway.
さあ、じゃあ始めようか。あ、先輩、ちょっといいでしょうか。
She takes something out of her bag after a nod. It's a transparent plastic bag. Inside are a number of cookies made in the shape of stars and hearts.
かわいい。そのお礼の気持ちです。昨日は日曜日だったので、うちで焼いてみたんです。
Hiding the hearts in other shapes with other shapes, huh? Huh. I untie the red ribbon after she hands me the bag. A sweet smell wafts through the room as soon as I do so.
もし甘いものが嫌いじゃなかったら、コーヒーを入れた後、一緒に食べてみてもらえませんか？もちろん。ありがとう。嬉しいな。
I tied the bag back up to prevent the cookies from getting splashed with the water while we're brewing.
リボンはリンカ先輩の好きな赤にしてみました。
なんで知ってるの？
Oh.
わからないと思ったんですか？
Leaving the cookies somewhere visible, I start the brewing process.
うん、もうバッチリじゃないかな。みんなにも教えられるんじゃない？
そんな、もう少し練習したいです。初心者向けの方法ですけど、私おっちょこちょいなので。
She can act as humble as she wants, but it's a fact that she's improving. I'm rather impressed by how well she manages it when she's properly focused. I wouldn't be surprised if she shot right ahead of me if it were my grand teaching her.
じゃ、そろそろクッキー食べようか。ちょっと休憩しよう。
We have no customers right now, so it's the perfect moment to take a break. Can't say for sure if that's a good or bad thing, though. I place the cookies onto a plate and carry them over to our usual seats along with some coffee. After appreciating how great they look, I finally take a bite.
ごっくり。
Someone hits Naomi's panic button to see who reads my reaction.
おいしい。
I'm not good at making dramatic reactions, so this is the best I can do. Naomi's eyes shimmer with an excitement that matches her beaming smile.
嬉しいです。
I have a sip of my coffee before taking another bite.
あ、このクッキー。
Oh?
どうしました？
すごくコーヒーに合うね。なんだろう、まろやかな感じっていうか。
実はリンカ先輩の苦めのコーヒーに合うように
Oh,
バターを多めにしてみたんです。
Yeah, okay. She lets out another sigh of relief, brushing her hand down her chest.
喜んでもらえてよかった。
私のために作ってもらって喜ばないわけないでしょ。もう。
Rinka, you can't just say things like that and expect not to get fallen in love with. There are a few too many for me to eat alone, so we end up eating them together. Baking sweets is apparently one of her favorite pastimes. She can bake a whole bunch of things, but cookies seem to be her specialty. It reminds me that my gran used to bake cookies as well. And granted, the taste was completely different from these. These are simple and mellow, much like Naomi, but at the same time, they don't feel as though they don't feel as if they were made by someone not used to baking. An idea hits me once we're about halfway through the plate.
私にも作り方教えてもらえないかな。
Our customers would probably be thrilled to see more sweets on the menu. Learning directly from Naomi rather than trying to do so on my own is a much more realistic approach too. And most importantly, I want our regulars to taste just how good these are. However, I can't help but remember Divine Selection and Naomi stares at me in utter amazement. Even if she does tease me, it'll all be for nothing if I get eliminated. I wonder if that's part of it. Like, technically, it's true for literally everyone. Everyone's going to die, so why even do anything? But like this, there might be a message in this game where it's like, even though you're going to die one day, everything you do matters because you did it now. Like, even though in this game, like, it gets reset, because you experience it in this moment, it matters. Like, that, like, we're spending a lot of time in these, like, slice of life moments just, like, living as a normal person, like, that matters. And it's like this game is screaming at you that it matters, because it does. Okay.
ごめん、今の忘れて。
Oh no. There's no way I can tell her about the possibility of me dying, but I'm awfully close to doing so. There's definitely a part of me that figures I could lift some of the weight off my shoulders if I told someone about all this.
どうしてですか？
Oh. Her overjoyed expression quickly clouds over as she draws her face close to mine. I must look like I'm mulling something over, so I rush to find a way to respond.
いつまでもナオミの時間をもらうわけにもいかないしね。ずっとこうしてなんて。
What?
違いますよね。
Oh,
今のは本当じゃない気がします。そもそも私からお願いしたことなんですから。それにさっきのその
She struggles a bit before continuing.
ごめんなさい。うまく言葉にまとまりませんでした。
大丈夫。
私ずっとこうしてたいです。
Oh, she's going for. Is she going for it? Her eyes immediately shoot to the floor, almost as if she's let the words fall out by accident.
ごめんなさい。最近私ちょっと変で。
慣れないことを手伝わせたから疲れさせたかも。今日は帰る？
そうじゃないんです。そういうことでは。
She takes a small breath, raises her head back up, and looks me dead in the eyes. Her expression is almost oppressive.
失礼なことかもしれないですけれど、私の悩みを聞いてもらってもいいですか？
That look of determination on her face. Oh my god. She has no idea. She's so oblivious.
ここ最近。
Oh! Wait! Oh! A very... this is a turn. Oh, but... Oh, wait. Oh, wait. Does she remember Rinka's death?
はい。
Oh my god! Yes!
最初は普通の夢から始まるんです。夢の中で先輩と私が一緒に電車に乗って。
She's extremely quiet. Okay.
そしたら急に電車が燃えて火事になって。炎は広がって熱くって苦しくって。でも先輩が私を守ってくれるんです。
Oh my god!
ただ先輩はそのまま炎に巻き込まれて。
She pauses the number of times while she talks. Her voice gradually gets more and more agitated.
リンカ先輩はそのまま死んでしまって。
いつからか覚えてる？
Excuse me. She shakes her head, which is turned to face the floor again, and then answers.
もうはっきり覚えていないんです。けど最初に見たのはきっと初めてこのお店に来た日だったかもしれません。
どうして言ってくれなかったの？いや、怒ってるとかじゃなくて、もしここに来るのが辛いとかなら。
そんなことないです。私先輩と一緒にコーヒーを入れる時間が好きです。先輩と話していれば夢は夢だって割り切れるから。でもたとえ夢の中でだって先輩が死んじゃうところを見るなんて嫌です。そんなこと思うはずがないのに。
Well, actually, Naomi, I'm dead. Her voice falters on her final word. You can see that tears are welling up in her eyes.
何度も何度もこの夢を見るんです。
それって
That's not a dream. There's no doubt that what she's seeing is the cause of my death. A number of questions pop in my head, but most of all, I'm flat out shocked. I never would have guessed that she's been having a dream like that, based on her attitude. Especially when my own memory of the event is fuzzy at best.
辛かったね。大丈夫。大丈夫だよ。私はちゃんとここにいるから。
私、先輩ともっといろんなことがしたいです。一緒にクッキー焼いたり、また遊園地に。
That was probably so loud.
他にももっともっと。だから死んじゃったりするわけないですよね。
About that... I can't force myself to nod in response. After all, I'd already be dead if it weren't for Divine Selection. What she's dreaming about actually took place. This has been undone for the time being. Makes me wonder. When Parka said our deaths had been undone, did she mean that the world's memories of the events themselves had been rewritten? Can't wrap my mind around how such a thing could even be possible. However, the fact of the matter is that Naomi's memory of my death is so deeply ingrained in her being that she's reliving it over and over in her dreams.
返事してください。
ごめん。
違います。ごめんなさい。先輩に謝ってほしいわけじゃなくて、でもやっぱりさっきの質問に返事だけしてください。そうすればまた同じ夢を見ても大丈夫な気がするから。
ごめん。私は。
I desperately hold myself back from saying something I'll regret. I'm far worse at lying than I thought, judging it by how I keep apologizing and evade the question. Her head is cast downwards, but her eyes are glancing up at me. The tears in her eyes are a lot more obvious than before, and it's my fault that she's crying.
もし悩んでいることがあるなら、私にも話してください。ある日突然いなくなるなんて絶対に嫌です。
Oh shit. Damn it. She says this with a resolute voice, despite her eyes being filled with tears. It just makes my heart ache all the more, though. She's likely to be haunted by that dream for a long time, assuming I keep the truth from her. And yet, telling her won't change the fact that I'm a participant. What's worse, I may even get her caught up in something dangerous if she decides she wants to try to help me out. I can't say for sure how dangerous this whole situation is, but at the very least, I want to make sure she never comes in contact with those people from the dream world. Most of all, I'd have to reveal that the fact that Miharu is also a participant, and that only one of us will make it through the whole thing alive. Keeping her in the dark would mean I don't burden her with my situation.
ナオミにね、聞いてほしいことがあるんだ。ナオミを余計不安にさせてしまうかも。いや、そもそも信じられないかもしれないけど、聞いてくれるかな。
はい。
She answers without hesitation. Just as I'm about to start my explanation, the chime on the door rings.
ごめん。続きは明日でいい？
閉店するまで待っていてもいいですか？
うん、それは悪いから。少し気持ちも落ち着けた方がいいしね。大丈夫。明日の放課後、必ず話すよ。
わかりました。
She nods enthusiastically, and then helps put the tableware away. She leaves as I get back to work. Meanwhile, I try to focus on my work as much as possible to distract myself from my own uneasiness.
Ohayo, Rinka.
I wonder if 6 minutes... We can go over a little bit. Let's finish this conversation. Yeah. I'm gonna keep my eye on the time.
おはよう、みはる。
Miharu is already here when I get to school. She gives me her usual smile before she continues. Huh. Naomi comes running over to me from the gate. Oh, again!
Oh.
She almost trips in her haste, but she managed to catch herself. Seems like she's just as clumsy as ever when she lets her guard down. She's been waiting for me at the school gate, just like she said she would yesterday. There's little point to her coming all the way to my classroom anyway, considering it's a big detour for her.
お待たせ。気分を変えて話したいから移動しよう。うちの近くにいいところがあるんだ。
ライオン館ではなくてですか？
うん、ちょっとね。今日は天気もいいし。
Is there gonna be like a very nice, well-drawn, like gallery photo, like picture that's like framed like with like trees and flowers or something? That's what I'm thinking. There's gonna be a shot, basically, like a. You know what I'm talking about? I don't know. Probably not gonna see it today because it's 4 minutes to the hour. Following that, we both make our way to the station. Oh, definitely there's gonna be like a... Oh, yeah. One transfer from Shinjuku to the metro, and 2 stops later, you'll find this park. There's an entrance fee, but it's fairly inexpensive. It's one of the biggest parks in Tokyo, and it was apparently an old samurai's garden back in the day. I'm not sure why, but it was restructured to resemble a mix between Japanese, English, and French parks. There are normally tourists all over the place, but it's a lot less busy on weekdays. That makes it ideal for a change of pace. I came here a lot when I was a kid. There's one place in particular that I really enjoyed visiting.
ここですか？
ね、いいでしょ？
There's a sole small bench in the middle of the garden. We sit down there, taking in the surroundings as the clock tower-esque building in the distance. And did I misread that? Few buildings in Shinjuku stand out as much as that one. Part of me wants to say it's a building for a telephone company. The sound of the greenery whispering in the wind is nice and relaxing.
あれ？
An odd sensation washes over me out of nowhere. Makes me wonder whether or not I've actually been here before. But I'm sure of it. I've been here plenty of times as a kid.
先輩？
うん、ごめん、大丈夫。
I take a deep breath and get ready to tell her about Divine Selection. I think we're gonna stop there. Because I guess. I don't know what the point of doing this is, because it's just gonna... I can just hit continue, but yeah. I am deliberately cutting off right before the, the main conversation. In all likelihood, tomorrow's stream... Well, okay. In all likelihood, the next stream will be Fatal 12. We'll be continuing with this. Yeah. But, although I'll make the decision whether I want to play Fatal 12 again or the next game on the rotation tomorrow, basically at the time of the stream. That being said, tomorrow is Friday, right? Yes, it is. I will actually be traveling that day, so a number of things can happen. I probably won't be able to stream at the regular time for the regular amount. I could start earlier, I could go only for an hour, or I could do both of those, or I might not stream tomorrow at all. So, just something will happen. If I don't stream on Friday, then I'll see you on then I'll see you all on Monday. If I don't stream on Friday, so that being said, I think that's about it. Yeah, okay, so this has been Fatal 12. I've been Calypso, aka Mint Carousel, and I'm signing off. I keep forgetting that. And I'm signing off. Have a wonderful rest of your day.